Welcome back to the BTS Happy Hour podcast. I'm your host, Andrea. With me, as always, is Morgan.
Hey, what's up?
Breaking news. It looks like Soojin from (G)I-DLE is officially leaving the group 6 months after her alleged bullying controversy. On August 14th, Cube Entertainment released a statement announcing Soojin's departure from the group. The label stated, as of today, it's been decided Soojin will withdraw from the team, adding that (G)I-DLE will continue as a 5-member group. And previously reported, Soojin denied the allegations of bullying by her first accuser. Cube Entertainment issued an update on the lawsuit against the allegedly false accusations. So it sounds like that didn't work out for her. Like whatever this lawsuit that they had or trying to fight back against it didn't work out because she's being removed from the group anyway.
Did we talk about this when it happened?
Yeah, I think we did.
So was it the lawsuit didn't work out? Is there a result for that?
I don't know what happened suddenly that made them decide that, because as far as I know, like nothing was really proven or nothing like really super concrete came out. It was just
losing a lawsuit wouldn't cause this to happen though. I don't think. Would it? No.
Maybe they're doing this despite whatever happened. They're just saying like she's a liability. We need to get her out of the group regardless.
Perhaps they had an internal investigation that revealed something worse, or they just decided that it's not worth it.
Right.
That I doubt, because they decided to defend her at the outset, right?
Right.
I doubt that was because they felt she was innocent. They probably thought that, okay, there's a good chance that these things did happen, but it's still worth supporting her.
Right.
That was their decision.
We want her to be in the group, so we have to just...
So either they uncovered something different, I think, or more serious, or, or she decided it was not worth it.
Yeah, that's possible. Yeah. I wouldn't think that would be the decision, but, maybe she felt like this was really damaging her reputation, and she didn't want to bring down the whole group.
I would tend to think that it's on her end.
It's hard to say.
Because the company made its decision already.
They're going to try to defend her.
Like, we're gonna go and defend her. We want her in the group.
Especially if they have a lawsuit. That sounds like, we're on your side.
Right. And believe me, it's not because it wouldn't be because they believe her outright.
Right. It's just because of the money.
Yeah, the money, or they just think it's not serious enough, Well, number one, I'm still surprised that bullying allegations are that serious, but as we've noted, it's a different culture. In Korea, this type of thing is considered more serious.
Right.
If you were an American celebrity and people said that, hey, in a grade school or middle school, you were a bully, you would just say, oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I was a dumb kid or something.
Right.
And then people just say, yeah, and move on. There would be no calls for you to do anything. People generally just feel like, well, you were a kid. It doesn't count.
Yeah.
That's the attitude here, at least.
Yeah, and some people are saying, oh, well, if you're a Western fan, you shouldn't be weighing in because you're not seeing how it really is in Korea, where they take bullying accusations really seriously, and it's worse than whatever we think of bullying in America, what that is. But it's like hard to see, like, why is it that serious? It's just school kids.
No, I don't agree. I think you should be able to weigh in. Everyone can have their opinion. That's fine. You should be able to have your opinion, but the companies will do what they want to do. So I feel the company already made its decision. I don't think that there's any new stuff that would change that decision. So the only thing that could have changed in my mind is her. She just said, I don't want to do this anymore. Right.
Maybe she was tired of getting criticized and couldn't really move forward with just normal group stuff.
Yeah. And I also find it odd because these sorts of things are so hard to prove. If someone says you did something in middle school, okay, can you prove it? Right? There's no real, is there a due process for this sort of thing?
Yeah.
There doesn't seem to be.
And that's why a lot of fans had her back. They were like, well, what proof is there other than the person said that's what happened?
Right.
It's a very hard thing to clear up. It's hard for her to clear her name because you can't disprove it when someone has said it. It's happened so long ago and no one has any pictures or video or witnesses or anything. So it's hard to say what the truth is.
Yeah, this is just a cultural thing. So to rehash the accusations, she did things like slap people or rode on motorcycles or smoked or something. Okay,
She made some girl an outcast.
Yeah. She said, "You're an outcast now." Like, okay, it just sounds like the movie Mean Girls. That's what it sounds like. You ever seen Mean Girls? It's your typical...
teen girls type of stuff.
Should adults really lose jobs over this stuff? I'm pretty surprised about that. Again, this may just be a cultural difference, but does that make sense to anybody? And here's the other thing. How many jobs should she lose? For how long? Should she not be able to work until like the age of 65? What is the cutoff? What's going on?
Right. Can she never do anything as a public figure, as a singer?
Do you only lose the first job you have? What if the second job is even better? Right? What if she gets a second job or whatever, or some better thing happens for her? Should she be canceled for that? She already lost one job because of it. And if she has another job that's even better, and your argument is like, well, you should lose that job too. It's like, so what is your argument? That she should never work for her entire adult life? What are we saying here? Mm-hmm. I just want people to be clear about what it is that should happen. Should she apologize? She did apologize, right? But that wasn't enough and wasn't over. So for these various cancellations, I would like for there to be some sort of tribunal or something to make clear what exactly should happen. What is the ideal result, even for the people who think she should be punished? Okay, she shouldn't be an idol because maybe it's too good of a job. What if her next job is a very good job too? What would you accept if she worked at McDonald's for the rest of her life? Is that what you would? Because if that's what you're saying, then I would have to say that you're the weird, crazy one.
Punishment is not fitting the crime.
Yeah, that doesn't seem exactly correct to me.
It seems that she is not in the group now, but it doesn't say that Cube terminated her contract or anything else. So maybe she'll come back later as a singer, or maybe she'll, try acting or something.
Oh, true. What if she joins another K-pop group that's even bigger? What if she has a solo career that's even better?
Yeah.
Should she not have that? What do you need to happen? Right?
I think you only need time, because I think people would stop being that passionate about it. Maybe in a year, they might consider putting her back in the group.
If that's the case, then mob justice fails again, because then are people really punished? You just have to wait it out.
Well, for justice, maybe you need to file something with the police,
But no crimes were committed. No crimes were committed.
Yeah, it wasn't really a crime. Yeah. It's just a social thing.
Right. But so they need to extract some kind of, but the mob doesn't specify what is needed, right? And that's the problem. That's the problem with mob justice.
Well, there is a petition, so it looks like there's some
what did
fans.
The petition say?
Some fans who feel really strongly that she shouldn't be removed from the group. She still has support. It's not like she's being completely shunned by everybody, and not everybody believes this bullying was really took place or was proven. So I don't know. Maybe if she has enough support, she can get her career back. The 2021 MTV VMA nominations were announced on August 11th. Justin Bieber leads the nomination field with 7 nominations, including Video of the Year, Artist of the Year, and Best Pop. Megan Thee Stallion has 6 nominations, and then BTS, Billie Eilish, Doja Cat, Drake, and others have 5 nominations. So BTS is nominated for 5 categories right now, and it's Song of the Year with Dynamite, Best Pop with Butter, Best K-pop with Butter, Best Choreography with Butter, and Best Editing for Butter. And there's also a Best Group category, but strangely, MTV has not said who the nominees are for that. They're probably looking for other groups to nominate, or trying to find a reason to not nominate BTS so they don't have so many nominations. But yeah, that's weird that they didn't announce that. But they said that will be announced at a later date. And some fans didn't like that BTS was not in the running for Artist of the Year or Video of the Year. But, this is MTV Awards. It's not there's a lot of integrity to this process. It's
just whoever they want.
Who they want to nominate. Who do they want to award? And we know BTS is most likely not going to go to this award show because it's in New York and they're in Korea. And it's you have to go to the award show in order to be winning awards. So I think the best you can hope for is that they win the categories that are fan voted, because that's the best chance that they have. And yeah, it's 3 of these categories that they're nominated in are fan voted. So that's all you can do is just try to vote for those and see if they win.
I would imagine they win those.
Yeah, they should. So Song of the Year is fan voted as well as Best Pop and Best K-pop. So I did want to look at who the nominees are, because then we can talk about who might actually win. So Video of the Year, there's no BTS nomination there, even though Dynamite was a pretty big video, as well as Butter. But the nominees are WAP and Popstar by DJ Khaled featuring Drake, Kiss Me More with Doja Cat and SZA, Bad Habits with Ed Sheeran, Montero by Lil Nas X, and Save Your Tears with The Weeknd. Which one do you think is going to win out of those?
WAP.
That does seem like the most known video out of all those. So I think I would agree that's probably Video of the Year.
I just feel like this is where we are in society.
It's like,
so we might as well.
It's such a dirty song, though. It's like, is this...
It's not a good song. B, it's disgusting.
It's like, this is where we are?
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Well,
so that for those reasons, that'll be the winner.
What about Lil Nas X with Montero? That was pretty controversial.
WAP.
You're like, nope, WAP was bigger.
Yeah. WAP is more everything and all the important things.
Let me see. Like, out of all of these videos, okay, I didn't see Popstar and I didn't see The Weeknd's video, but I saw the other ones. And I think the actual best video was Kiss Me More, because that looked really cinematic. I don't know if you guys have seen that one, but it has this astronaut lands on a planet somewhere. It's Planet Her, which is run by a Doja Cat, I guess. And she's this giant alien along with SZA. And this astronaut, he's like exploring the planet and stuff, and he gets captured. And it turns out they're using him to play a video game. Like, they've captured him, and like humans are actually really small, and they're like using his conscience.
Yeah, I think like all K-pop videos are better.
They are. Like, if they would have been nominated, it's like...
I think there's like 20 K-pop videos that are better.
Yeah.
I don't have to name them.
That's true. The K-pop videos have superior production values.
Like, pretty much every Blackpink, every BTS video is better.
Artist of the Year, they have Ariana Grande, Doja Cat, Justin Bieber, Megan Thee Stallion, Olivia Rodrigo, and Taylor Swift nominated. I think they probably want to give this to Olivia Rodrigo.
They'll give it to Olivia Rodrigo.
Yeah, I mean, even though Taylor Swift had like such a big year with how many albums she made, they want a young audience, so I think they want to give it to her. Song of the Year, BTS is nominated for Dynamite. The other nominees are Mood by 24 Golden, Leave the Door Open by Silk Sonic, WAP, and Levitating, and Driver's License. And since that one's a fan one, I'm sure Dynamite should win. But there's some good songs there for Song of the Year.
Why is Dynamite in the same year as Butter?
I don't know. They must have started it from like August to August or something.
All right. That seems kind of odd to me.
Yeah, they're very far apart when they came out. But I mean, Leave the Door Open was pretty popular.
Dynamite will win. I'm sure ARMY will do their thing. If it's fan voted, then they should be able to win.
What about Best New Artist? They have 24 Golden, Giveon, The Kid Laroi, Olivia Rodrigo, Polo G, and Saweetie.
It'll just be Olivia Rodrigo.
Yeah, I'm sure she'll win that one. I do think Saweetie has done a lot this year, but I don't think she'll be getting awarded for that. It's going to be...
VMAs are another really fake award.
Yeah. The ones
it's whatever MTV wants to give.
The ones that they can hand to their chosen people, they will.
I couldn't care less about what MTV wants to hand out. I think it's instructive on the fan votes, though, to see just how powerful the fans are at this moment.
Mm-hmm. So Butter, it'll probably win the best pop category. And like a lot of these other songs weren't even that big, so that one is not even... Although Justin Bieber was nominated for the most categories, so it's like, okay, what categories is he going to win then? Because they can't like not let him win anything.
Give him some.
Yeah, I guess not one that has votes, because that's going to be BTS winning.
For sure. And if it doesn't, then it's fixed.
The best K-pop category, this one is fan voting too, so I'm sure Butter is going to win. But I thought it was interesting which songs they nominated. So this is like MTV, somebody in New York deciding who's the best K-pop. And then they decided Dum Dee Dum Dee by G-Idol, Ice Cream by Blackpink and Selena Gomez, Butter, Gambler by Monsta X, Ready to Love by 17, and Alcohol Free by Twice.
Interesting group.
Yeah, I just thought those choices were kind of like
Kind of odd.
not like all the top songs I would think of. Like if you want to put a Blackpink song, but why would you pick Ice Cream?
Right. That was, well, because it was a very Western song.
Right. But I do think Love Sick Girls was a better song.
Here's the other thing. If it's all in English, is it K-pop?
Yeah, that's another good question. Because
If it's all in English, is it K-pop? I've often struggled with that in making my playlists. Like, should I put it in K-pop if it's all English? What's K-pop about it, right?
yeah. But they did allow Butter to be nominated under Best Pop, so it seems like it's both pop and K-pop.
But there's no Korean in it.
Yeah. So you're saying it shouldn't be within Best K-pop?
I don't know if I'm even saying that. I'm just wondering what should we have to be asking these questions. What should the criteria be? I mean, let's put it this way. The analog that I can think of is when the Oscars, they have Best Foreign Film and Best Domestic Film, which means, I guess, made in by a U.S. company, right? It doesn't mean shot in the United States. There's plenty of U.S. films that are shot wherever in the world, right? What if you are a foreign director like Inaritu or something, right? But then you work for an American company and shoot an English language film. Where do they put you? Well, they don't put you in foreign film. They just you're a regular film. Right. When he shoots The Revenant, what was it? American film, right? Because it was produced by an American company and it was in English, and even most of the actors are American, probably. That was an American film. No one even thought to say that. Well, it was a Mexican director. Is he Mexican? Let's say a Mexican director. Therefore, it's a foreign film. It should be in foreign film. Nobody even thought to say that because it's clearly not.
Yeah.
Well, when BTS sings an English language song, and a bunch of the writers are in the American music business, right?
Right, the Western writers.
Right. There's a lot to say that this is just an American pop song. Just because the people who sing it are Korean makes it K-pop? I'm not sure that makes sense to me.
Yeah, that makes it difficult to put it in a category.
Right. And I'm not saying that people are wrong or whatever, or xenophobic or whatever for deciding one way versus the other. I'm just saying this is kind of tricky. It's not so clear cut, is it?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's because BTS, the singers, are Korean, so it's like that makes it a K-pop song. That's probably the logic that they're going with. But what if, like, Halsey sang a song that was in Korean? Like, she's American, but, like, let's say she did a song and it's, like, in Korean. Like, do you think that would count as K-pop?
Good question.
Like, that would really mess with people's heads. Like, what category is this?
Right. And, again, this is the MTV Awards, so it's not that serious.
But I'm sure the Grammys have to divide things very specifically. Like, they must have rules on that.
It would be interesting to discuss with the people who make these determinations. What makes Butter a K-pop song? Just because the people who sing it are Korean, so you have to be an American citizen for not to be in a foreign category?
Right. It's like, let me see your passport.
That doesn't make sense either, because there's plenty of, songs that are sung by non-American citizens, like every Justin Bieber song.
Oh, yeah.
I know I've called Justin Bieber an American. He just seems like an American at this point, but I forgot. He's Canadian, right?
Yeah, he is still Canadian.
I know at some point in the past I said he's American, but he might as well be, right? But technically he's Canadian. Is this a foreign? Is it a foreign song? Is it a foreign song? You couldn't say it's foreign language because it's English, but
that's true.
Would you put it in a foreign category? No, nobody does. So why is a BTS song?
Yeah, how
they
come?
are not American citizens, just like Justin Bieber is not an American citizen, but they're singing an English language song largely produced by American producers.
Mm-hmm. How come Peaches isn't best foreign song? That's a good question. And then they had best choreography. I don't see how anything other than Butter would win that, but that's not a fan voted one, so that could be something else that wins. And I remember some people really liked Ariana Grande's video for the choreography, even though there wasn't like that much in it. So I don't know. If they want to give her an award, then maybe that's the category to do
Ariana
it.
Grande doesn't dance. Is that what we were talking about right here?
Yeah. Did you see the 34-35 video?
I don't watch her videos anymore. Did she dance well in it?
She did it wasn't like dancing. It was like, they did like moves, like leg moves. Like it was like floor work is what I would call it.
Even the worst BTS video has better dancing than the best Ariana Grande video.
And like,
is what I'll say.
These other songs, I didn't even know they had choreography. So Oh, I saw Ed Sheeran's video, but that wasn't really like tons of dancing. It was just a lot of him
Ed Sheeran doesn't dance.
running around dressed like a Joker. And
Ed Sheeran dances? Since when?
I don't remember him really dancing in that video. Maybe that applies to the background people. I don't know. But it should be the artist dancing if it's best choreography.
Correct. This is another area where K-pop just dominates.
It just destroys everybody.
I don't even want to talk about it.
It should have been the 5 or 6 K-pop videos
Right.
nominated for best choreography.
Right. If they were being intellectually honest, it would be all K-pop videos.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those are the MTV Awards.
Okay. They're
We'll
trash.
see. We'll see what happens.
I'm sorry I wasn't worked up over what, but they're trash. Just don't care. Really. They'll give it to who they want to give it to. And the fan votes, if they're honest fan votes, then, BTS will just win all the fan votes. It's not really exciting or dramatic or anything. And the categories often don't make sense, so...
And this time they're going to try to have a lot of it in person. I think I remember last year it was kind of like just the presenter was there and like maybe a distanced audience or something. And then a lot of the performances were remote. But I think they're going to try to do a more in-person show, which leads me to the next thing that we're going to talk about is that it seems like BTS is probably not going to go to New York in September to do the UN thing and potentially go to the MTV Awards or the other things that are happening in September, like the Met Gala and the Global Citizen Concert. It kind of seems like they're not going to do that just because of what all the rules are and the restrictions. Like if they went, it would be like, oh, they got to quarantine or they got to be vaccinated and we have no idea what their status is. And I've heard that in South Korea, like, okay, not that many people in the country are vaccinated. It's not like here where it's like, okay,
Why?
half
Why
the
is
people.
that?
I don't know. I guess it's the logistics of it. They haven't gotten to
Logistics.
everybody.
That's a first world country.
Maybe
It's organized.
they don't have as much of a supply. I don't really know the
Really?
reason, but it sounds
Is
like
it because of the cost?
15% or something of the country is vaccinated.
That's very low.
Yeah, it seems like it should be more, but I don't know.
Is it because of the cost? South Korea is a rich country. Why would the logistics be hard? Most people live in Seoul.
I don't know the reason. And like nobody knows exactly like...
They don't seem like an anti-vax culture either.
No, I mean, it seems like people would comply.
Yeah. Asian cultures tend to be more compliant. So what is the problem?
They must not have enough of it because I don't think South Korea makes their own vaccines. They would have to import them from somewhere, right?
They don't know who makes their own. Companies make it and countries buy it.
Yeah. I don't know exactly how it all works, but it seems like the U.S. has a pretty big supply of it. And
It sounds like the U.S. has way too many.
and like anybody who wants one can get one. But that's
Literally,
not how it is.
Walking down the street in the United States, they're like every single corner is like, hey, we have the vaccine. Come and get it right now. Wow, really?
It's very available.
Yeah. We might even pay you $50 or something.
They're like begging people to get it. And there's like so much everywhere. And like there's no line. It's like, here, get some vaccine. But I guess other countries, it's not like that. They only have so much. And I don't know.
Oh, maybe we're hoarding it. I'm
don't
sorry.
know what the reason is, but...
Well, I apologize that on behalf of my country if we're hoarding it.
Well, maybe they have so much for like the 350 million people and then that's it. But we haven't all used it, so it's still just sitting there on shelves.
If only half of us, I think about 60% of Americans are vaccinated, right?
Something like that, yeah. That's like over half.
Oh, right.
But yeah.
So maybe we do have like a good 140 million just sitting around.
We have an excess for sure.
Yeah, that is a lot of, yeah. And probably we bought one for every citizen. I'm almost certain of it. But maybe there are not enough vaccines for every person on Earth. I would look into that. Are there enough vaccines for every person? Probably not, huh?
Maybe not yet.
Probably just the rich countries where they bought them all up.
Yeah, I think the bigger...
You have to buy them. It's not like Pfizer and Moderna just giving them out for free.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to buy them. So your government literally has to write out a check to these companies, right? I would assume.
And I think the US and Europe have probably like the most influence on buying vaccines.
I'm surprised that only 15%. In Korea, are you sure about that?
I mean, no, that was just like a Reddit comment. I don't know what the stats are in Korea.
Well, Reddit comment means nothing. I say a lot of false things on Reddit all the time just for funs.
But I think it's true that it's not a huge percentage of the Korean population is vaccinated. But the point of that is that BTS may not be vaccinated, and so it may not be easy for them to just travel to another country to go to all these events.
I would assume they are. What are you talking about? Just because 15% of Koreans are vaccinated doesn't mean that impacts BTS.
Well, they can't just jump the line. That would look bad if they're.
Oh my God!
Yes,
they can just jump. Yes, they can just jump the line. Of course they can. Are you kidding me? You don't think that they could jump the line and just secure it if they wanted to? Of course they can. And I'm almost certain that they did.
They could, but I don't think they would.
They did.
Because Korea, they care about image, just like we were talking about bullying.
What if they did? What if they did it while they're in a foreign country? What if they happened to be in the United States at the time and it's like, let's get the vaccine?
Well, that's different, but I don't.
I'm sure that that's what happened then. If they wanted to get the vaccine, they would just like.
They haven't left yet.
Have they been in Korea this past year and a half? Really?
Yeah.
They could easily. The company could easily have it shipped.
Well, Bang PD has left the country. We know he was in LA.
Yeah, he's vaccinated.
He must be.
They could easily have it shipped in at a premium. They would just pay somebody. Hey, we'll give you, $1,000 per vaccine. Send us 7 for BTS. Yeah, they could probably contact Pfizer or Moderna directly and say, hey, could you send over a few vaccines? We'll pay whatever you want.
That does bring up a point that a lot of celebrities in the U.S., they're very vocal about, like, I'm vaccinated. Everybody get vaccinated. Go out and get it. But I don't see any K-pop people doing that. Do they not want to politicize it, or do they just want to like keep that medical stuff private? Or I wonder what I
think in Asia they don't talk about this stuff.
Right.
It's just not as socially accepted.
Like, we're not going to be public health figures and encourage all this.
It's not your business.
Right.
I'm almost certain that the countries they want people to be as vaccinated as possible. I'm sure of it. But the celebrities, it's not their place to talk about this stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure the companies are like, whether you are or not, we don't want to be the ones talking about it, because there might be some fans that like don't want you to be saying that, and then they'll react negatively, And
I'm not even sure that's the case. I'm not sure what people's opinions on vaccinations are. It may not be, if you're in a foreign country and you're listening to us, here's the background here. In the United States, the vaccinations become politicized. It's sort of like, if you're of one political leaning, you're suspicious of the vaccination. Or if not suspicious, you just feel like you shouldn't be forced to be vaccinated, right? And if you're of another political leaning, you just feel like, well, everybody should be vaccinated. And we might even have to force you or something like that, right?
Right. For the
so it's a so it's a political thing here. And I'm not taking sides on either, but it's become politicized. And that's not necessarily the case in every country. In some countries, it might just be viewed just as a public health thing.
Yeah, or it's like, let the politicians deal with that, not the celebrities.
So for us to assume that it's politicized in every other country, that would be projecting what's going on in America onto other countries, which may not be fair, right? It may just be viewed as a public health thing, and people will get vaccinated when they can, if they want to. And it just may be viewed that way.
I do think the labels wouldn't want to go there. They don't want their idols to be talking about vaccinations, because some might see it as a controversial issue, and like they don't want fans to be divided over something. It's not about music or anything else.
Yeah, it might be viewed as controversial, or it might not be. Like I said, it might not even be politicized in other countries. I don't know. I haven't done research into this, and it just might not even be viewed as a controversial position. But at the same time, it may not be viewed as a thing that celebrities should talk about. Mm-hmm.
Just let the Surgeon General or just the politicians be the ones.
Like for instance, whether you decide to have your when you have a baby, whether you decide to have it circumcised or not, that's a personal medical decision, isn't it?
Right.
There's no celebrities that are gonna weigh in and say, yeah, please get your child circumcised, right?
Yeah.
That's your business and that's up to you. So it might be viewed in that sort of vein. Just a personal medical decision, which honestly, that's a more accurate way of viewing it, probably. Mm-hmm. It just happens that in America, it's become a political thing. And hey, whenever something's political, you're going to have celebrities who want to weigh in on it. That's what happens here, at least. But you can probably tell that I think that's bad, but whatever.
There's been talk about what the vaccine situation is in South Korea, and the fact that all these events that people were hoping that BTS would attend in New York in September. We were hoping for that to happen, but it probably won't, because all this COVID stuff happening. and they probably don't have, the like, even if they're vaccinated, they still have to come and quarantine and like do all this stuff, and like everybody that goes with them would also have to be vaccinated and in quarantine or whatever the process is, and that could probably be hundreds of people if like BTS brings their whole team, that they work with. So it seems like, okay, that's probably not logistically gonna happen. So I guess, BTS, they're just gonna stay in Korea, and then, if they perform at the MTV Awards, that's gonna be remote again. And the UN speech is probably gonna be remote. They're also performing in Global Citizen concert, but since that's happening in Seoul, they're probably gonna be just performing in Korea somewhere, and that's what's gonna happen with that. And as far as the Met Gala, I mean, I wanted to see BTS go to that too, but it sounds like, number one, with the COVID thing, they probably can't. And then number two, it sounds like it's not going to be as cool this year, not as prestigious, because not all the A-list people are going. It sounds like Anna Wintour is filling the guest list with influencers, like people from TikTok and stuff like that. Not necessarily the usual people that are in fashion are going. So I think it might not be as good of an event to go to this year. So if BTS goes to the Met Gala, it'd probably be better just wait for the next one. HYBE has been preparing for a new girl group in collaboration with Source Music, a subsidiary acquired back in 2019. The girl group will debut in the fourth quarter of this year. Bang PD and Min Hee-jin, the head of brand, who raised popular girl groups such as Girls' Generation, FX, and Red Velvet at SM Entertainment, are at the forefront in producing this girl group. An executive from HYBE stated on August 9th, "We are preparing for the launch of a girl group in the fourth quarter. The exact schedule of their debut, number of members, and the genre of music are still confidential." And the official said, "We have high expectations within the company because the members have the visuals and skills that are comparable with Blackpink." So I thought that part was pretty interesting, that they're comparing this new group to Blackpink. So it seems like this is going to definitely be a girl crush group, and probably, not too many members are going to be in it. Probably like 4 to 6 members if they're comparing it to Blackpink.
Yeah, this might offend people who are fans of HYBE or whatever, but I don't think there's any chance they can recreate Blackpink.
That is a difficult task if they're, one of the top girl groups.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna find people that are as good and unique as them. Like you don't have a lot of people like Lisa in the K-pop industry, So are you really gonna find people like this? And here's the other thing: one of the big parts of Blackpink's success is because they have such good music production, and that's all Teddy. Mm-hmm. So HYBE doesn't have Teddy. HYBE has other people, right?
Do you think there's a difference with producing boy groups versus girl groups as far as like the music?
I don't know, but Bang PD, here's the other thing. I think that this is his I don't want to call it a vanity project, but his passion project, let's put it that way.
He definitely wants a good girl group.
It said that he's working on the production, right?
He's the main part of the music.
And he's the one that he quit being a CEO for this. This is his passion project. He probably is in his mind, he's thinking, I created the biggest boy group in the world. I can do the same with girl group.
I can create a girl group just as big.
That's what he's thinking. And he's going to put all of his energy into it. Can he? Well, I mean, he created the biggest boy group, so I don't want to say no outright, but they won't be Blackpink. I don't think they'll be Blackpink because their flavor and their vibe, I think it's very unique. And I think that has a lot to do with the people they chose, like Lisa and with YG Teddy, right? I just think that they're not going to recreate that exactly. And they shouldn't try to recreate that. Can they do a different thing that's super big as well? Sure, maybe. Remains to be seen.
Maybe they just said that for buzz. It's like, oh, let's compare them to Blackpink, and maybe they're nothing like Blackpink, but it's just
maybe.
We want people to think like this girl group will be on that level, as opposed to thinking this we're making a G-Friend or something. Like, not that that's bad, but it's like, okay, obviously.
Oh no, that would be bad.
People think G-Friend is, like lower tier than a Blackpink or Twice, So I think that's why they name drop Blackpink.
Right. I can see why they think that, but they're not going to recreate Blackpink. They might make a big successful girl group, but it's not going to be Blackpink. I don't think it'll be that. There have been other people that tried. Like ITZY is supposed to be Blackpink, right? Mm-hmm. Is it? No, it didn't come out exactly that way.
Not quite.
No, they're their own thing, and it's fine and it's good, but it's not the same. You know, I think the trick here is just how Western Blackpink is. I don't think that can be created easily by another K-pop company. There's just a very serendipitous convergence of things. Like they have Lisa, who's just a very Western person, right? Mm-hmm. They have Teddy, who is also very Western, and they just have those two things, and boom, they created a group that is different.
Well, what would be wrong with trying to make the next Twice?
There's nothing wrong with it, but they're not trying for that, are they? What's wrong with it is that group would be limited to Asian markets. Mm-hmm. And it's clear that that's not the goal of any of these companies at this point.
HYBE wants international.
Exactly. And why wouldn't you? Why would you want to be limited to certain markets whereas groups like Blackpink are unlimited and have access to every single market? Why wouldn't you want that? Of course you would want that.
Well, every group can't be like the top group.
True. But when you're making a group and you're a big company and you want to make a lot of money, that's your goal. That's the target, right?
I think as long as some of the people in the group can speak English, like that's minimal as you need.
I don't think that's enough.
Because the producers
but it's not enough.
The producers can be anybody. That's like let's have more Western producers and songwriters. Then that's what makes it Western.
Perhaps. I don't think that's enough though.
But you can't have the members be all Koreans who only speak Korean.
And there won't be. Didn't it say HYBE had like auditions in many countries?
7 countries. So they're looking at people from US, Australia, bunch of Asian countries.
Now, I think that all the people in the group will be Asian, but they will speak English. I guarantee you.
At least
there will
some
be
of
English
them.
speakers, yeah.
That's needed because of...
And that helped Blackpink too.
Yeah.
They have 2 English speakers. That was a huge help. 3, really. I mean, Lisa speaks pretty good English.
Yeah. It's only Jisoo that can't really
Jisoo can't speak English. It doesn't matter, though. That's 3.
And then there sounds like if you're going to say they're like Blackpink, then it's not going to be cute concept.
No, because that also is only a Korea and Japan thing.
Yeah, that's true.
You're limiting yourself greatly.
That's more of an Asian concept.
Right. And that's another reason why my favorite days of Twice having cute concept, they're over. They're behind us. Because that doesn't sell in these markets that JYP wants in, right? And he's trying to. This is not about Twice. I feel like he shouldn't try to force them into it, but they're gonna try, right? I just feel like this is what ITZY is for.
Well, even JYP, he's got his next group ready to go. That girl group that he's not gonna tell us who's in it and all that before the album comes out, but it's gonna be. It definitely looks like a girl crush group. They had a clip of that, his new group, and they were just like dancing to hip hop or something. Mm-hmm. So yeah, his new group isn't even cute concept. The new girl group that's going to be after ITZY. A British DJ has come under fire for his insensitive remarks that were made regarding BTS, the K-pop industry, and the Asian community as a whole. Matt Zoe is a British producer and DJ who came to fame for his electronic music producing abilities. On the week of August 7th, he went on a K-pop related rant calling the music genre a niche in the West, while making claims that BTS's success was only made possible due to the push of corporations. He also shared his suspicions behind K-pop groups' fans and how he doesn't believe the fake vibe of it all due to the profile pictures of each K-pop Twitter fan seems to have. So I looked up who Matt Zoe is. I've seen his name before, and then I looked up his songs, and like none of them sounded familiar. So I don't know if I know any of his music that he makes. But I guess he had a lot to say about K-pop because he doesn't like how the industry is, and it's how it's grooming children into cultural icons. I don't know why he mentioned BTS though, because they don't really fit what he's talking about the K-pop industry. Because what he's really talking about is like SM. It's like, oh, they're molding kids into whatever. It's
they don't, though? I mean, they have the same system, though, don't they?
They have a system, but Big Hit is not some huge corporation that's like forcing BTS into other markets. Like, they started small, and like if you read any of the profiles about BTS, like they didn't have any influence. Big Hit was an underdog, and BTS is successful because they just worked really hard producing good music and eventually gained support over the years. They didn't like have so much power like SM or something and was able to like push their way into other markets.
He's not talking about that though. When he says child grooming, he's talking about the amazing amount of influence they have to create stars from young kids, like the control they have over their lives, which is that is the K-pop system, and BTS did come from a company that exists in that system.
I wouldn't call that grooming. That's like factory system. Grooming is like setting kids up to be sexually abused or something.
Yes, and I think we can all agree that that's not what's happening, but he's using the term colloquially, right, to refer to the factory system. He wasn't saying that any of these people were being groomed to be sexually assaulted.
That's true of K-pop, but that's not really true of Big Hit or BTS. So they only had one group. That was not a factory.
They didn't use the same principles for BTS that SM uses, do you think?
I don't really view it that way. The company didn't do that with like tons of people. They just did it for one group.
They were young, right? They lived away from home, right? These things are true. They worked hard and it was rigorous. You agree with that, right? Company exerts a lot of control. I think that's fair, right? What he's contrasting it with is in the West, where people are allowed to just sort of grow and, become what they are as adults, and then they're discovered, right? Like Ed Sheeran, he did whatever he wanted to do, and then when he was 28, he was discovered, and people said, "Hey, you have talent. Come to our record label." Ed Sheeran he never had to go away from home. He didn't have to go in the dorm or, have like coaches yell at him or stuff like that. That's what he's contrasting it to, right? And in that sense, I guess it's fair to say that BTS is in the Korean factory system as opposed to, however the West does it. And the West does it in the more, I guess, organic way. That's what he's saying, right?
Right. You make it whenever.
Yeah.
They didn't make Ed Sheeran live in a dorm somewhere.
Right. Now, there are problems with what he's saying, but I would say that the way he characterizes K-pop, yes, BTS does qualify. They are compared to Western groups. They are from a factory system. Fair enough. Okay. I would say, yeah, that's true. They come from a factory system. One problem I would say about that is that, well, they've had that sort of factory system in the West as well, right? They've had Britney Spears, they've had NSYNC and stuff. They come from a similar quote-unquote factory system. One of his tweets acknowledges that had happened in the United States, like the quote-unquote Disney system. So he refers to a Disney system that must refer to Britney Spears and to NSYNC, stuff like that. And even, I guess, maybe like Ariana Grande is from the quote-unquote Disney system, right? For reasons I can't understand, he says that wasn't sustainable in the U.S. So still, for the most part in the West, people are discovered more organically. His argument for why the K-pop factory system is bad is because it creates people who are easily controlled by corporations. That's an interesting accusation because I think that it's possible that is one of the motivations that corporations in this country have. I don't know for sure. I'm not in all the boardrooms or whatever. It could be that corporations do want more controllable artists. It's better for the bottom line. People like Ariana Grande, Ed Sheeran or whatever, the organic stars. Who else? What's her face? Oh, God, why we shouldn't podcast this late. The moody ass bitch who's blonde now.
Billie Eilish?
Billie Eilish. Okay. So Billie Eilish, they're harder to control because they didn't come from a factory system. And so maybe corporations in this country are looking at K-pop and they're thinking, this is a superior system. We get artists on the cheap. We get artists who are better behaved, more controllable, and they prefer it. It could be that they do think all of these things. Now, his next assertion that they prefer this system, therefore they're artificially pushing BTS and making them seem more popular than they are, that sounds like BS. That doesn't, like, how could they do that? It doesn't even pass a smell test. So they can manufacture all of this popularity, all of the sold out concerts, all of the, the fan voting and all that. It doesn't seem like quote unquote corporations can fake all of that for BTS. The accusation that corporations prefer artists like BTS, they prefer artists come from that model, that is his most interesting and valid accusation, I think, out of all of this. He makes many. Do I think it's bad? I don't personally think it's bad. I think it's better when artists are more corporate and better behaved or whatever, and they just toe the company line, because that's all I want from them. I just want the product from you. I don't want to hear all your political opinions. I don't want to hear all your whatever BS that you have going on, right? I prefer that. But maybe people in the West, They don't necessarily prefer that, and they should think about this. Is this the type of artist that they want to see more of? Do they want to see more K-pop style artists? Because these people, they will be less outspoken. They will be less independent. That's just a reality. Some people think that's a positive, but some people might also think that's a negative. And he's clearly in the camp of, I think it's a negative. He thinks it's a negative. That's a fair opinion to have. If you think it's a negative, then you won't like a proliferation of this model taking hold. But that is what's happening. That's what's going to happen.
I think he's just very confused about why BTS is successful and how they got there, because they didn't get there because HYBE is so influential and like forced BTS on everybody, and then they have a bunch of bots as fans because he doesn't believe like their profile pictures are real people, and it's like, okay, no, they really do have that many fans. Like I don't see bots. I don't really see like fake people online.
No. That is a really off-kilter argument that he's making. First of all, no, he's not making the argument that HYBE is doing all of this.
Well, they said they're pushed by a big corporation.
He's probably referring to American music companies. Why they would push them, I don't know. I guess his argument is that those companies see that the Korean model is superior and they want to push BTS. I'm not sure why that would be the case. It seems difficult to justify.
Matzo, it might be the only one that thinks that then, because everybody else thinks there's all this xenophobia against BTS.
It is, it's your typical conspiracy theory stuff. So it's a conspiracy theory. It has all the hallmarks of one. There's nothing to back that up. There's no reason why Capitol Records wants BTS to be the most popular group on earth just because they think the model is better. If they thought the model was better, they would just, create artists in the same model and push them, right? That's what would actually happen, I would think. So his idea that, they're just pushing them and all the fans are fake because they have, because they have like anime avatars. Of course, that's just like conspiracy nonsense. But his idea that companies might prefer the Korean model, I think it could be legitimate, and it's something that's worth talking about. They might prefer it. Has nothing to do with BTS's popularity, but they might prefer it. And so you might see a comeback of like the Disney model. Like you might see more NSYNC and Britney Spears and artists like that because companies are thinking this is better for us.
Well, that's what Olivia Rodrigo is.
And maybe that backs up his argument that they're seeing the light, that this is a better model, right? I think that could very well be the case.
There's just a few though. It's like everybody else that gets really big in the West, they are outspoken as they want to be, and they just do whatever.
True, but then again, it's only been like 2 years since BTS has been a phenomenon, right? Mm-hmm. And maybe the American companies have only woken up to this idea in the past year or so that, hey, you know what? Those Korean folks, they're doing it better than us. They're creating more popular artists who are more controllable, more predictable, and we got to learn from them. And maybe Olivia Rodrigo is like literally the first one in this new model. It could very well be the case. And I think it does touch upon something that might be going on at the higher levels, how they're thinking.
Well, if they want to do Olivia Rodrigo, then the record labels in the U.S. have to capture artists at a young age, because you're not going to be controllable if you sign someone and they're 28 already.
True. And wasn't she captured at a young age?
Yeah, she was a young actress and singer.
Right. And I don't hear her voicing her political opinions or whatever. She's very much about the work, right? She's very corporate, right? So maybe they're just thinking that, this is the model from the way forward.
Well, she did go to the White House and tell people to get vaccines, but I think that was part of her.
That's very
what she was told
non-controversial
to do.
Yeah, that's not that political or anything. I saw some other stuff. So people dug into his other comments and they saw some like problematic Asian comments, right?
Right.
Okay, so they said, hey, you made some problematic Asian comments about Doge and Korean restaurants serving dog. Okay, unfair, because most Korean restaurants don't serve dog, obviously. Okay, that comment could be viewed as somewhat xenophobic, sure, and also inaccurate. This is just a joke, though. And his other comments about liking cute Korean girls, or I don't know, it looks like he has an Asian fetish or something.
I don't agree with mining people's old tweets to find something to use against them. It's like, just talk about whatever he said today.
Yeah.
Just like focus on that.
And also, I don't think that these are even that offensive. It's like, that's just a non-story to me. So I think that most of his assertions are off base, but he may have perhaps even accidentally touched upon something that is true and is going on and is relevant. There are people in the West who have opened their eyes and looked at the Korean models of recruitment, of talent generation, and cultivation, and they've decided that, hey, this is better. I find that interesting.
I mostly only listen to K-pop, so I would say I'm biased to thinking that produces more music that I like.
Right.
And if I'm running a label, a music label, I would think, yeah, I'd much rather have artists that just listen to what I tell them and like,
Right.
you know, they follow the program that I give them. They follow the schedule. Like BTS, they have this very rigorous schedule every day. It's like, here's the things you got to report for work, you know, at this time. Like, does Justin Bieber follow like a schedule like that where it's like, you got to
No.
be here? You know, it's like,
No. He probably doesn't do anything that he doesn't want to do, right? And you can say, wow, he's a big star. No big stars listen. Like, well, BTS are big stars. They probably still listen to their company.
right.
They probably still listen to instruction. They probably still work very, very hard. And I'm not saying that Justin Bieber doesn't work hard, but I would wager that he doesn't work as hard as a K-pop group. I would bet good money on that. So I'm all for switching to this system for the West. And you might even look at Olivia Rodrigo as an example of how Western companies are picking up on this system. And they're saying, hey, this is how we should develop artists now. Don't just like pick a free thinking whatever.
Then hand them a contract.
Hand them a
like,
huge contract, make them a star, and just hope for the best. No. You need to get them while they're young, mold them, train them, only push forward the people that you've selected and identified as this person has a good work ethic, this person is compliant, this person is whatever.
they won't be rebellious. They won't do anything crazy.
Maybe this is how it's going to be done in the future.
I think that would make sense because I think labels, they want their artists to release music more often, not just like every couple of years. And there's only some artists that do that in the West. So,
Think about how like difficult it must be to deal with Justin Bieber.
yeah.
He has personal problems. I would have to wager that he's not the easiest person to handle.
He doesn't love touring, so...
Yeah. You hear so many times there's all these difficulties with Western artists.
Imagine like managing Demi Lovato. That's like even harder. And it's like
Even better example, Demi Lovato is like a train wreck.
Scooter Braun must have his hands full with all that.
Right. Scooter Braun probably, he has this group of people, they're a train wreck or they're openly insubordinate, right? Or they're bad-mouthing him in public.
Ariana Grande is very opinionated. I'm sure she doesn't
Right.
like all of his decisions.
And it's probably not easy. And then he deals with people in the K-pop system, and everybody obeys. Everybody's a good soldier. Everything is organized and efficient. He probably looks at this and wonders, where did I go wrong? Why can't we have it like this?
No wonder he's so impressed with Bang PD then. He's like, oh my God, you're my hero.
Right. So maybe some truth to Western companies looking at the K-pop model and thinking, they're doing it better than us. They're getting better results. We need to learn from them.
I just think they've tried before, like Fifth Harmony or like any of the American Idol people,
Right.
or X Factor people. And
I think it will fail. And here's the problem. I think the problem is cultural. I think the problem isn't the system. I think the problem is the people that you put in the system. People in the West they're more independent. They're more free thinking, right?
yeah,
They're not as compliant. They won't just follow the rules indefinitely. And I think that people from Korea and Japan are just more compliant to the system.
it might work with Olivia Rodrigo because she's just one person. But when you have a group, you have like a Fifth Harmony, it's like, okay, everybody wants to go solo. Some people think they're better than the other people in the group, so it's going to break up eventually.
Well, Fifth Harmony wasn't developed in this way either. They weren't all quote unquote groomed when they were from 12 or something, right? Weren't they discovered at a much older age? I think they were.
Yeah, whenever it is, they try it out for X Factor.
Right. I just don't think that's the same thing. And they probably came in thinking, I'm a star, I'm a diva from the outset.
I'm a soloist.
Right. I'm a soloist who just happened to be accepted to a group. Whereas in the Korean system, you're a nobody. You're broken. They build you up from nothing, right? As nothing, you go to like a dorm and you live with your fellow trainees for a long time. It's like the military almost. But we don't have a military system for music in the West. So people won't think that way. And again, it's subjective whether you think this is good or bad. But since this is a K-pop podcast, we think it's good, and probably most listeners think it's good. So
I don't know why he is looking at it in a negative way. It's not like the Western market is going to be like flooded with K-pop groups all of a sudden. It's like, okay, only BTS and maybe Blackpink have broken through in the way that he thinks. It's not like they're taking over. Plenty of Western groups are still popular, and he's not even threatened. He's a DJ, so any DJ can do anything. You know, there's nothing in their way. So I don't know. It just sounds like he was kind of threatened by it when there's room for everybody. Like K-pop can succeed. Everybody can succeed. Thank you to our guest, Morgan. You can find BTS Happy Hour on Amazon Music, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many other podcast platforms. New episodes weekly. If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. Follow BTS Happy Hour on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Weverse. You can also go to the website at btshappyhour.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for additional content. Until next time, this has been the BTS Happy Hour. Thanks for listening, and remember, make every hour a happy one.